The following is an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.
Obviously, it's not the receiving end that we wanted to be on. It's going to be a process with this basketball team. We're kind of inexperienced, especially to winning situations. And as you can see, from the 4-minute mark on down, we didn't necessarily make winning plays. We didn't come up with the loose ball. We didn't come up with the necessary rebound. We just didn't make significant plays at significant times. It came back to bite us. So we have to understand that we have to do it collectively. And it's not necessarily about the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. It's things that we're doing at the 16-minute mark that's affecting us and affecting the outcome. So we have to get better. We're not necessarily the most disciplined basketball team, and I take complete ownership of that. Pat Cole got a tech for saying something, and I didn't see everything about Dante, but he got a tech. So regardless, it's unnecessary. And if they were responding to something that someone else said in the heat of the moment, such is life. They always catch the second guy anyway. So we have to play basketball. We're not fighters. We're not trash talkers, and let our game speak for itself. But hats off to East Tennessee. They're a good basketball team. That's why we scheduled them. That's a team that beat Georgia Tech, and, they're probably finishing the upper 2 or 3 in the league. But we felt as if we let one get away.
Now open the floor for questions.
You guys both shot 44% from the floor and had about the same number of rebounds, free throws, all of that. What was the difference in your mind in this game?
What we call splash plays, loose balls. I know one time Graf had an opportunity to get the ball over here, and the kid dove, and it was their ball. And, we didn't get a couple of loose balls to start the second half, and I think that gave them a working margin of 5 or 6, and then we had to claw our way back. And then we missed a couple of rebounds, and the one pivotal factor that, is completely on us, we can't beat good teams and shoot 60% from the free throw line. We were 61%. We got to step up and make free throws. They're free. There's no pressure. Pat Cole was 9 for 14. Graf was 1 of 3, and some of those were front ends of 1 and 1. So we got to take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves.
You guys struggled offensively in the first half. It didn't feel like there was much of a flow for really either team. What was kind of going on there?
I just thought, hats off to them, but I thought we were playing kind of timid and passive. We were running a lot of ball screen things to turn the corner, and we wasn't turning the corner. And I think Pat Cole turned the corner a couple of times, and Graf ended up turning the corner a couple of times, but we were timid, and I really don't know where that come from. But once again, you have some new guys we're asking to, they're taking on new responsibilities, and they're not completely comfortable. So when you see timidness and those things, it's because they're not as confident as they should be.
Where do you kind of go from here? How do you help your team regroup? You've got a day in between your next game?
We just fight. It's going to be a process with this team. I said that from day one. The problem is it's probably some unfair comparisons to the previous 3 or 4 years teams. They're not those guys. Those guys have really graduated from the program, and it's new guys. And, our fan base is sport. I'm as a coach is sport, and even the players are sport. So we got to understand that collectively we got to figure out our identity. I thought we played well enough to win the basketball games, and I'm definitely not one for more victories. But we grew in some areas. And it's not going to happen overnight. And the reality is these guys really haven't played a lot of basketball together. They've been hurt and blah, 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 blah. But we're no excuse basketball program. They just have to find a way, and they got to fight because no one cares about their problems. If anything, they're glad they have them.
I felt like we played hard. We had two big mental lapses when I picked up that technical in the first half. Dante picked up the second one. I kind of think that kind of killed our momentum in both halves of the game. And the last big thing is I have to make free throws. That's nobody but me and the free throw line. I miss 5, I make 5, and there your ball game go right there. So I don't blame nobody but myself for that.
When you look at the free throws and how close it can come down to it, those 2 techs, you say that really changed everything with giving up that 4-point swing. Was that kind of the final nail in the coffin in the last 2 minutes?
Well, no, because there's never. I mean, the game's never over until the clock is 0-0, 3 zeros up there. So, but I mean, as you said, momentum. Yes, those are momentum swing plays. The game is never over, but momentum does swing, and when you pick up technical fouls, it does kill your momentum. Because then they get 2 shots in the ball, so it does kill a lot of momentum. And he picked it up with, how much time was left? Around 2 something, and we were making a run in the first half when I picked mine up. I got an and one, and I picked up a stupid technical foul. So it was like we take those mental plays out, and we probably win this ball game for about 9 and 10 points.
At this point in the season, it's been a lot of mental things that have hindered you guys. When you're not great at rebounding, you practice rebounding, you practice shooting. How do you practice to get rid and limit those mental mistakes?
That's a very tough question. I feel like it just comes with maturity and experience. I mean, now we know that those things can hinder a basketball game. Then now we can't make those same mistakes. Now we go Wednesday, something like that happens. Now we know, well, we got to kind of play back. We can't be that aggressive. So we just got to learn. I think experience is your best teacher. So just experience. So when we get down into March and we don't have these mental errors, and we can be successful come late March.
Coach was talking a minute ago about how he feels like maybe this team is being unfairly compared to the teams of the past. You were on other MEAC teams while Central was, making runs and bounced around. Do you ever feel like you guys are being compared to those past teams, or how do you shut that out?
Like I told the guys earlier in the year that we can't really focus too much on that. We got to just be our own selves, be our own individuals, and come together as a team and build our own identity. Because if you notice, every team that they have had was different. Last year, it was more big-oriented. They had a great 5, but it was more KJ Jordan. The year before that, it was Jeremy Ingram, Poobie. The teams had different players. This year, we got a bunch of different pieces. And when we play together as a team, we play some great basketball. So going forward, that's really what our team identity is team basketball.
There's not going to be the 2 guys.
No, there's never going to be the 1 headline guard or 2 headline guard. It's going to be mostly when we win or get basketball games. If you look, it's a team effort. It's never just one player just excels in the whole stat line. So that's just our team identity. We try to block out these guys are not last year, the year before that. But we're working on that. We're building on that. So hopefully, down the stretch that we have became a team where everybody talks about with those past championship teams.
So you don't necessarily need one person or 2 people to give you guys those splash plays. It seems like maybe you're lacking right now.
We're definitely lacking splash plays. Like Coach talked about at the game, winning plays. He asked everybody what goes under winning plays, and we talked about it. And he said, "There go your ball game." We're not making winning plays right now. So going forward with him letting us know that our focus is going to be Wednesday, which is our next. That's the only thing we can look forward to is Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So Wednesday we just got to look forward to making winning plays and just building on that every game.
It was a hard-fought game. I thought we played well for the most part. We just got to just finish tough games and close games. We can't let everything going on around us and just be strong on the floor and finish games.
What's the biggest thing that you guys have to do? When you're not great at rebounding, you work on rebounding. When you can't shoot free throws, you practice those shots. How do you practice getting rid of those mental mistakes?
We know a lot of the game is 80% mental and 20% physical. So you gotta try to limit those mental mistakes. And usually the team that does have the least amount of mental mistakes usually wins the basketball game. But it's going to be nights when we're not going to make shots, and there's going to be nights where we're going to make shots. But we just gotta figure out a way to have our mental toughness be that one consistent thing.
What was the issue in the first half? It felt like there wasn't really a flow for either team. What did it feel like to you?
It was just up and down, and it was just a lot of just wild scramble basketball. I don't think either team was prepared for the up and down fast-paced game with a lot of shots and everything, but we were prepared. It was just, it got out of sync, like it was just out of rhythm. And I mean, we just got to try to establish a rhythm and tough, hard-fought games like that.
When you look at the 2 techs that were called, how did that kind of affect the flow of the game for yours too?
It affects momentum in a big way, and those technical fouls and stuff like that, those are big momentum swings for both teams, either in a good way or a bad way. We just got to that goes back to the mental things. We got to be mentally tough and just talk to one another on the floor opposed to the opposing team. We just got to limit those small mistakes like that because those end up being very costly mistakes.
At this point in the season, do you feel like you guys have a solid identity as a team?
Not the identity that we're trying to establish. We're trying to establish an identity of a team that's going to battle through, all adversity and find a way to win. I think we show it as spurts, but we haven't, I wouldn't say, put together a full game to where we fought through the battles and like a hard-fought game like that tonight. It would have really helped us with our confidence in establishing our identity.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.